My name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I get to serve in the beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the awesome parish of Christ Church, Shelburne, that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And I give thanks for you every day. I thank God especially for all that you share with me and all that you teach me in the comments and in your emails. I'm going to share with you some family lore. Now, I have no ability to prove this. It's one of those stories that gets told whenever the family gets together and we talk about where we come from and we talk about this and we talk about that. Now, one of the things that we do know is that my family came from Ireland, and that when we arrived in New Brunswick, the English officer that was taking our names spelt our names wrong, and that's how I got Trevors. Originally, apparently, it was Travis. We get off the boat, he didn't understand our accent, he wrote Trevors, and that's why Miramichi, New Brunswick is the home of the Trevors clan. But the piece that I can't prove that I want to share to you, which is most important for today, is that a long, long time ago, my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, her name was Isabel. And Isabel was a Mi'kmaq woman from Prince Edward Island. And Isabel was sold to my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. And he married her, and they had a family, and they had grandchildren and great-grandchildren and so on and so forth. And honestly, there's nothing else that I know about Isabel. As a matter of fact, again, what I do know about Isabel could be fiction. It could all just be the legend of where we come from. This morning I did a video, hopefully in recognition of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. I know that I did not do that topic justice. There simply aren't enough words. But doing that video led me to want to do a little bit of research into another huge topic, and one that I am not going to do justice on this video. I'm telling you straight up right now. And this is not going to be a reflection as you might be used to them by now. This is going to be me telling you about something and then asking you to do some research on your own so that you can help me, you can help the people in my country, you can help our Indigenous brothers and sisters, especially our Indigenous women and girls, to shine a light on this topic from every corner of the world. In Canada, we have something that is currently happening that at least one author has described as an active genocide. It's known as missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. To call it a phenomenon wouldn't be right. It's a travesty, it's a crime. Over the last 30 years, it's estimated that more than 4,000 Indigenous women and girls have gone missing or have been murdered. That number may not seem like a lot, but Indigenous women, Indigenous females, make up about 4% of the female population of Canada. They are 12 times more likely to go missing or to be murdered. 12 times. Now, this isn't to say that people are traveling to Indigenous communities and kidnapping women and girls out of their beds. More often than not, this is Indigenous women and girls who leave their communities, for whatever reason they may have, looking for something better, looking for something else. And what they find is abuse. They find ill treatment, they find stereotypes, they find people willing to take advantage of them, seeking to take advantage of them. They find lives that leave them empty, broken, that take who they are away from them, and in many cases, even take their lives. As part of my research, I stumbled across an article written by a journalist in Alberta by the name of Brandi Morin. I would highly encourage you to read the article. I'm going to include it in the description. And in it, she takes what is often broken down as statistics, and I think she does a marvelous job of sharing a personal experience in such a way that it allows us to empathize. Not to see it as numbers that we can dismiss, but to enter in and to feel what she was feeling when she was a missing Indigenous girl. This is part of Canada. Right? This is part of our legacy. This is part of our legacy. This is part of who we've become. A nation that is willing to turn its back on the sufferings of families, on the murder of children and women, because they're native, because they're Indigenous. They're from the reservation. They don't look like us. And then, of course, we attach all the other stereotypes that we carry, because it allows us to ignore the plight. It allows us to ignore what's happening. They're just runaways. They're just addicts. They're just drunks. They're sex workers. They'll come home. Or they won't. Maybe they don't want to come home. They'll turn up. They always do. Indigenous women and girls are 12 times more likely to go missing or to be murdered than any other woman in this country. I told you, what I'm offering you is the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. This is like a snowball on an iceberg. I would encourage you to Google this. Missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Learn about it. Share what you find. Teach the people around you. Make this something that is known. Help our Indigenous sisters. Help our Indigenous families, our Indigenous communities. You've heard it on this channel before. And I know you've heard it on other channels, but for us to make our world great, for us to shine, for us to bring in a bright future for our generation, for our children and for our grandchildren, we can't be working simply for ourselves. We must be working for the most vulnerable people in our society. Indigenous women and girls are 12 times more likely to go missing or be murdered than any other group of females in this country. Amen.